reality that the people that have been placed in responsible positions now that should be in charge of this are not competent to handle something of this magnitude.
Okay. Well, let's go to a different subject here. What do you have you heard? Let's see. I mean, I know you're Glenn Beck's comments as far as Barack Obama being a racist, but what about? Well, we'll go to Steve King. Let's say Steve King's comments, his recent comments about Barack Obama favoring blacks over whites. Is that something that you would agree with, or do you understand what he was saying when he made that comment?
I think that unless I missed something, this is the year 2010.
Right.
And the day has long since passed that we should be even having to have this conversation about race and about equality. You, sir, are equal with me and vice versa. And it doesn't matter what color your skin is. And to me, this is one of the issues that's just simply being used as a political wedge to separate the ordinary citizen here for political gain. Okay? It's not fair to any of us. And in the end, again, it's just it's a tool, it's a weapon, and it has almost nothing to do with the reality of what's happening in our government and in our nation.
So, do you think if Eric Holder, for instance, if he was to say that whites favored blacks, or he thinks that certain whites favor blacks, or if he was to make a racist comment like that,
okay,
do you think that would be? Do you think that would be okay for Eric Holder to make a comment like that? I don't know.
Okay. Let me make an important comment about this. Last night,
right.
I attended a forum with the Reverend O'Neill Dozier was a speaker there. He's someone whose point of view, religiously and politically, I admire. Okay, he happens to be a black reverend. If you didn't know that. Okay. Also, are you familiar with the candidate Allen West?
Yes, that's the black gentleman that's running for
Thank you very much. I support his politics, and I think that he is a true American hero and a patriot in the truest sense of the word. Okay. Now, I support these people, and I agree with their politics. Can you tell me why it is that somebody would pull up on this street corner and look at me and decide that I'm a racist? You understand? This makes no sense at all. Okay. In fact, the truth is that's merely a case of not taking the time to know anything about me as a person, or what I believe, or what I support.
Okay, let's go to. I'm almost finished. I know you're going to get that. All right. What are your thoughts on the immigration law in the state of Arizona?
Okay. This is real simple. When I go out the door, if I go down the street to the store and there's some problem that has caused the police to arrive at that store, okay, they have every right to look at me and ask me if I can identify myself. And if I can't, I stand the potential of being detained by the police simply because I'm not carrying ID. You know that's the law for all of us. Now, would that make the police officer a racist somehow because he detained me? No. It's the same issue here with the issue of immigration. If you're here legally, then you have a way to verify that, okay? And the issue is not about asking everyone on the street to prove that they belong here, but only in the case of when they're stopped for some other legal issue. Okay?
So quick follow-up question. So I think a lot of individuals believe that the police officers are not racist. The police officers in Arizona are simply doing their job. It's the law that they have to upheld that they're stating is a unfavorable law towards a lot of the Latinos out there,
okay.
whether they're illegal or not.
Okay, if I go to Mexico and I don't have ID, do you know what happens to me? I get arrested, okay? If I go to France and I don't have proper identification, do you know what happens to me? I get arrested. In fact, I challenge you to name a country that an American citizen can go to without ID, okay, and not be arrested for violating the laws of that country. Now, how is it that America has to be the only country on the planet that doesn't have the right to enforce its own borders?
Okay. 2 more questions. What are your thoughts about the gay marriage issue? Do you think that gays should be allowed to marry, or do you think that this is something that should only be done between a man and a woman?
Okay. This is tricky because I believe that I don't want to be in anyone's bedroom, and I don't believe our government belongs in there. Okay? But the issue gets brought to us. Okay? So I will say this. While I believe that in the spirit of equal rights, okay, those people who believe other than I do, okay, about gay relationships, they should have their own choice to decide how they should live, and they shouldn't be penalized for that. However, there is a definition that goes back thousands of years, and its origins are from religion, okay? And I speak of the term marriage. And marriage has always been the union of a man and a woman. Okay? And so what I'm saying in short is that while I believe they should be entitled to some type of union, I don't consider marriage to be that term that should be used for that.
Okay, so I mean, would you consider gay Americans to be citizens or have just as equal rights as the rest of Americans do?
Okay, I
Americans?
consider citizens to be citizens. You see, and
So
the fact that they're gay or they're Latino Americans, or that they're Black Americans, or they're Chinese Americans. I'm trying to take the hyphenation out of this issue. If you're here and you choose to be a part of America, then welcome. You know, you should be equal, and you should have your rights, and you should belong and assimilate in this country.
So they should have all the same rights then, right? I mean, everyone
right.
should have the same exact
But
rights.
I disagree with the concept of having laws that specifically call out a special right for a special group. This should not have to be necessary, since all of these issues are covered under our Bill of Rights and the amendments of the Constitution of the United States.
But actually, there actually is a law that's not allowing gays to get married, though. So that's calling out. Isn't that calling the gay?
Well, if you're asking me about marriage, the simple answer is no. Okay. If you want to call it something else, some type of civil union, I understand legally that, you know, I don't choose to separate them and treat them differently because, again, they are citizens, just like I'm a citizen and you're a citizen. But where we seem to have this issue is where it comes to whether or not I'm a citizen and of a particular category. Okay.
Last question. What would you like the audience to know, or what would you like all of these people that are out on the streets passing by in cars? What would you like all of these people? What message would you like to give them? I know I asked that at the beginning, but
okay. Well, very simply, I love my country, and I love this place I live in here in Florida, and I only want the best for all of us. And though we may disagree on a lot of things, I believe we need to sit down and try to have intelligent discourse, okay? And I hope we can do that. But again, I wouldn't be here if I didn't really feel the urgency of what's wrong with our government right now, and that some things really need to happen fast before we lose the country that we know and love.